Here we go. Okay, hey guys. So tonight I'm super excited because what we're doing is covering all things distributors, signing distributors, having conversations with distributors. And to do that, we all decided we're going to share our stories a little bit tonight because there's a lot of new faces on our team, a lot of new people who are going to watch the recording. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Alyssa. I got started in the business just over 5 years ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. So it was October of 2016, and we were doing some home renovations. Took a little break and I was scrolling the For You page on Instagram and I came across Erin Tweed and she was holding about, now that we were just talking about hair, it's kind of funny. She was just showing a bottle of hair, skin, and nails. And at the time, I really wanted to grow my hair. It looks like things never change. And I messaged her and I said, do these things ship to Canada? And we got into a great conversation with each other. I threw my credit card at a stranger and I became a customer that night without thinking twice about it, which is my issue in life with online shopping anyways. So I became a customer, absolutely loved the products. But the story started for me like a month after that. So I was loving the products, and obviously I'm watching Erin on social media, figuring out who this person is who I even gave my credit card to, figuring out what she was all about. And from that point, I was just really curious about how she was living her life. She was showing up every single day. And we're going to tie all this in a little bit, but she was showing up every single day. She's showing her life. She's showing her kids. She's showing the process of going through IVF and all the things, and that she's going to be able to pay cash for that. And I was just amazed by it because I, at that time, was working two full-time jobs, feeling burnt out, still feeling like there was never enough money. And I was like, this chick is just like living at home, living her best life. Her husband doesn't work. Like, what the heck is going on here? And so I reached out to her and was like, okay, so I love the hair vitamins. Maybe I should start selling them so I can be rich like you, pretty much. I didn't know there were other products or anything like that, because if you ever go to Erin's page, she doesn't show a ton about products. She'll drip them every once in a while, but they're not super, super prominent. So what I fell in love with was her lifestyle, her openness, and her willingness to just show how literally blessed she was. So we got into a great conversation and I got started right after. And then I was like, oh crap, well, I guess this takes some work to live that life you're living, and a whole lot of learning and all the things. So I don't know, when I got started, I was always open to opportunities. You guys are going to have conversations with people who look for opportunities and are willing to really dive in quickly. And then you're going to have people who sit on the fence and have to think and have to talk to every single person in their family before they make a decision, because they're donating their firstborn to you, is what half the people make it feel like. So, you're just going to run into so many conversations and so many personalities in this business. And I don't know. I was just thinking when Britt and I were like, well, let's talk about distributors and signing distributors and all the things. The first thing that you are going to attract people to your team is going to be you. You may have people who respond to a host of posts where they are interested. And oftentimes you're not going to sign people from that host of post, but you're going to bring them into your network. And what is going to sign them is your consistency and how you're showing up and the way that you're showing up. So I want you guys to take it upon yourselves as some homework to go through your social media tonight, tomorrow, and see what it is that you're posting, and if you would be attracted to yourself if you came to your page. Because if you're being consistent with the KPI, and that we talk about every single week, a huge part of it is going to be posting and is going to be host to post. And when you're doing host to post, you're bringing a lot of eyes back to your feed. So what are those eyes seeing? Are you going to be a page where people feel excited, they feel connected to you, even though they don't know you at all? Or are they going to kind of feel defeated or just wonder why the heck you're just resharing a ton of content over and over and over again from other people's pages that has millions of views? Like, before I got started, all I ever did was like reshare animal videos and like memes and all the things. And now I'll drip it because I still love those things, but you have to be a lot more focused on what you're trying to build and be consistent with what you're building and what you're wanting to attract. And so just go through your feed, ask yourself, does this represent me? Is this what the person's going to get if they join my team? And is this what I would want that person to continue posting when they join? That's a big thing, because when you do sign people, a lot of times they're coming to your page every single day as a newbie, being like, what did they post? That's my inspiration for today. So create things that are duplicatable as well. So you're sharing a lot about your family, you're sharing a lot about what this business is doing for you, the blessings behind it, the things you love about it, where you're working that day. Maybe you saw your prelims and you can get excited about that, or it's payday, or you got a bonus. There's just so much about this business. Or like Britt and Cheyenne showed today, they got to meet up for coffee. Like, it's just really cool things that you can do. So like I said, with Erin, the specific things that attracted me to her that you guys can jot down whenever you feel kind of stuck of what to share on your page or about the business or anything like that. Share the wins. Like I just said, maybe right now the gas tank is like a huge topic for absolutely everybody. So the next time you fill, take a picture of the pump while you're filling up and just say, I'm thankful to have a side hustle that helps me pay for my gas, like, or your groceries. Like, you can just make it so relatable to whatever it is that's going on in life right now, and you get to be the answer to somebody, which I think is the really cool part about this business. Is every single person has needs, and every single person could use an extra income, and it's just a matter of you showing how this can relate to their lives, and that's where they built that connection. And she was always super genuine. So she's showing up in her feed all the time. She's in her stories all the time. I felt like I knew her. Like, I felt like I could go over to her house for the weekend and it wouldn't be weird. That's how often she shows up on her social media. And that's how much I stalked her. And I promise you guys, you have people who are stalking you just as much. And she was just her. She wasn't trying to be anybody else. And I think that's also another thing in this industry when you join, is a lot of times you feel like you have to become like somebody because they're a certain way and they must be super successful because they're that way. So you start mimicking. You can mimic, you guys, but don't ever lose who you are in this business, because that's what's going to take you into having your own team, training your own team, and all the things. And it just helps with creating content, because if you feel like you have to copy people all the time, you're just going to feel stuck all the time and constantly on the run to look for inspiration, because you can't think of what is it Alyssa likes anymore, what is it Britt even likes anymore. So we have a lot of training on the 5 pillars for posting, and you guys can find that in the Boards app. That's a great one to watch, but I don't want to get stuck on those things. So with signing distributors, this is all about scaling your business. So when you sign, you're not thinking too much about growing your business in terms of growing your team, except now when we do sign, we definitely put a higher weight on that because of the foreign ones, and we want you to start thinking about that off the bat, who your special one can be. But the thing about this business is signing customers is going to add volume to your business, but signing business partners is where it's going to multiply your business, because you can sign 3 customers, but if you sign a distributor who also signs 3 customers, all of a sudden it's like you've signed 6 customers, you guys, but you're doing half the work. And the more people that you sign, aka distributors, the faster you're going to see your business grow, the faster you're going to see your volume multiply. And that's where your paychecks really, really go up. And I think the really cool thing about that is you're in complete control of that, especially with the foreign ones. So you know exactly what you're bringing into your business and what you're working towards. You can say, I want $500. You know exactly how to go get $500 now by signing the foreign one twice. And then on top of it, you're going to get commissions on that. So I think that's the really cool thing about this business, and really duplicatable and easy to train. And we're not going to talk about training DTs tonight. We're going to talk about signing DTs. And I don't want to talk too much, but there's just so much. I want you guys to think about this, because this is going to help you with a post idea. This is something you can make for tomorrow if you're feeling stuck. You can ask yourself what it is that you love about this business. And I didn't want to do like the typical, it covers my groceries and does all the things. I wanted to think a little bit deeper. And sometimes you need to do that if you're ever in a place where you're like, why am I even doing this? Like, I work so hard to make $50. I work so hard to make $100. I work so hard for that $500. And you just have to kind of sit. And yes, it's amazing because it covers those expenses and those bills, and you can control your paychecks and all the things. But the one thing I was sitting and thinking about the last couple of years, because Matt and I were having a conversation about COVID and how it's crazy to think it's been 2 years. But the one thing about the last 2 years that I didn't have to worry about was that this business was dependable, because I knew I could be dependable, that I was going to show up every single day. I was going to sign the customers. I was going to find the business partners. And I didn't have to worry about losing my job. I didn't have to worry about losing a paycheck. And I got to be an answer for someone through that, multiple people through that time where they either got laid off and they didn't know if they were going to get hired back. And a lot of girls on our team at the start were laid off of work, or, just like, and maybe you guys experienced that too at the start of COVID and all the things. But I love this business because it's dependable if you're willing to show up every single day. If you know exactly what you want to accomplish and you go out and you do the work for it, you're going to crush it. You're going to absolutely crush it. And then the other thing that I've always loved about it is that it forces you to grow. If you want to go to the next level, you have to grow to that next level. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just show up and all of a sudden you're able to sign 10 distributors. You have to grow to be that person, to have those conversations. And we're going to talk about that tonight too, because I think the majority of us will sign, and we're going to get nervous having those conversations with distributors, because you're going to get the no's, you're going to get the awkward conversations, you're going to get ghosted. And I think especially when you're new, you it's a damper on you a little bit, where it's like, I can never do this, like nobody's signing with me. And you're just going to realize it's going to take a lot of conversations to build that amazing team, and it's going to be 100% worth it. But you're going to have the ups and downs just like you would owning any business. Any business is going to have its struggles, and you have to realize people are going to come, they're going to go. You're going to have yeses, you're going to have no's, you're going to have higher income months, lower income months. That's just the ebbs and flows of being a business owner. But the thing about it, again, is that you get to control that, and you get to show up every single day. And I was talking about growth. You guys, when I got started, I was like the most shy person on the planet. There's not a chance I'd be doing a Zoom and talking. And I still have to make notes because I still like go down rabbit trails and forget what I'm even talking about. But I think for the first time ever in my entire life, I've loved reading. I've loved listening to podcasts, and you can just see a difference, and you're going to see the difference in yourself as you get those Facebook reminders, or you see an old Zoom that you were a part of, or you see an old post that you've created in the business, or maybe you come across an old, this will happen as you're in the business for longer, but you might come across an old distributor that you signed that had left the business, and you'll just remember how you trained them. Maybe you didn't train them. You'll just remember the different conversations, and you'll just feel like you're a completely different person because of the growth that this business brings. And you get to take that growth into every aspect of your life, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time because I know Britt's got a lot of awesome stuff to cover, and she's a killer when it comes to signing distributors. So we can all learn from her. But Britt, I'm going to let you jump on and take this away.
Awesome. Hi, guys. I'm Brittany. I know all of you here, but if you're watching the recording and you don't know, I've been in the business now for 3 years, which is absolutely insane. And we wanted to share stories. I'm going to call on Cheyenne to share hers too, because she was one of my very first business partners ever, which if you've been in this business for even longer than a few months, you're going to already see that is so rare. So I absolutely adore her and wanted to get her to share her story too, because I feel like it's cool to kind of see all of us were like very different in how we started. So I feel like it's cool to see the different things, because you're going to sign distributors who literally just like message you and are like, I need to do this. You're going to sign people you follow up with for years. Like every situation is so different, and that's so normal and okay. But when I first started, so I was a customer as well, like Alyssa was, but I was a customer for a long time and I loved the products. It completely changed everything for me. I was a professional dancer in Vancouver. Dance is a lot of people and a lot of human contact. So my immune system was crap. And I followed this super cute girl on Instagram who kept talking about these greens that made her immune system amazing. I will try anything. I don't have time to be sick. So I spent money I didn't have and started ordering these greens. And then I started trying other products because she posted about them all the time. And she was so good at being active on her social media, but she was even better at like engaging with her network. So she was engaging with me all the time. So that's why I saw her stuff. So she would engage on my posts that I barely made. She would swipe up on my stories that I literally never made. Like all the things. I was like, oh my gosh, she's just so nice. Like I didn't know her at all or what she was doing, but it worked. And then essentially I kept saying like, hey, I can't afford these products. And she's like, hey, you should do the business. And I said, no, I'm never going to do that. You're amazing. And I could never do what you do, but like, love it. Anyways, and then I just kept doing this over and over. So she just kept planting the seeds and I just kept saying flat out no. So it's not even like I said, maybe one day. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Absolutely not ever in my life. So Alyssa could have just quit her business in that moment. Nobody wants this. Even this girl who loves the product doesn't want this. That's not what she did. She kept posting, kept doing her thing, kept engaging with me. So I kept seeing all the things that she posted. And then there was one day where I just made the decision of I needed to do something different. I didn't know what, I didn't know anything about network marketing. I didn't even really know what she did other than sell these products that worked for me. And so I messaged her in the middle of the night. It was like, I need to get started. I don't have any extra income at the end of the month. It's driving me nuts. I can't do this. And that's how I ended up getting started. And she messaged me the next day, like, haha, I knew it type of thing. I knew you'd do this one day. And I had no, like, I can't even explain how little confidence I had, but the amount of willingness I had with the little confidence. And that's all it took. I was like, I sweat in every single story that I made. I would like, my voice would shake and I hated the sound of my voice. And she's like, just stop watching your own stories and just make the story. I'm like, okay. So I would do it. Like it wasn't simple for me. It wasn't easy and it took me a long time to grow into. But I think the cool thing about that part of the story is it took me a year until I fully had enough confidence to just decide to do this. And if you're in this business right now and you just started and you're like, I'm not seeing the big paychecks that everyone's talking about, the only way you're going to see them is if you keep showing up and if you keep being consistent. You cannot fail in this business if you don't quit. It's that simple. If you make the decision to do this and you show up every single day, our trainings, our systems, our coaching, like we have access to top income earners in this business that are telling us exactly what they're saying to people. Like, if you're willing to be solution minded and show up, you will succeed. And I think that that's really encouraging because it kind of takes the pressure off, right? Like, you don't need to know it all. You don't need to be incredible right off the bat. But if you stay with it, you will grow into the place that you want to go as long as you keep your eyes fixed on it. And it might be a bumpy road getting there, but you will get there. And the cool thing is with the system that we have with the KPI, the daily task list, they compound over time. So if you're doing all the things, you will sign people, period. There is no ends, ifs, or buts about it. Like it's a guarantee that you will sign them. So if you're not signing them, take a look and be that business owner and go, what am I not doing? Most of the time, I feel like the thing that we miss is verifying, like on your account is kind of like your what is that word? It like validates what you're offering. Like if I post a host post and then somebody goes to my page and I have nothing about the business, I have nothing about the products, I have nothing about anything but my dog, like what the heck? They're going to be like, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't understand. Or you'll sign them and then they'll think they don't have to post anything either. So it kind of validates what you have to offer. So if you're saying like, I'm going to make this work, I'm going to do everything I need to do, then I would love to see you like go full out on the KPI list and do everything. Because on there we say post about your life, post about the opportunity, post about the products, and think about the person that you want to work with. Like this has been a literally like the thing throughout my entire business of picture who you want to work with and start talking to that person as if they're already here. Like even when Cheyenne signed, she'll tell her story about how she signed. I was trying to attract a Cheyenne. Like that's who I was talking to. It was a person who needed extra income, was super open, was super willing. Like I feel like that's something that you can do right off the bat. But if you're not willing to show up and show your face, you just won't sign them, period, because they won't know who the heck you are. So even if you get up the host post for DTs and they come into your network and you never talk on there and you never post again, you're just missing the biggest piece of the puzzle. So keep that in mind. Your page validates what you have to offer. It makes you real, it makes you authentic, it makes you genuine. And then people, even if they don't sign right off the bat, if you pull in Alyssa, which is also on the KPI, and engage with your network, they're going to start seeing you. And all they're going to think is, oh my gosh, that lady is so nice. Like she literally posts on or comments on all my stuff saying I look so cute and she loves my kid and whatever. That's all they're going to think. They're not going to think anything else. But what you're doing is you're growing that relationship. So I wanted to say that because talking to distributors, you will already know this in your first week of the business. You have to talk to a lot more of them than you do customers to sign, because a customer has a 3-month commitment. They don't have to work. They just have to take these supplements. They're amazing supplements. It's easy to sell products, but it's also easy to sign distributors. It's easy. It's something that any of us can do. It's something that all of us are more than capable of right off the bat, right off the beginning. But we get in our own way, or we just don't do enough of the work. And I think that is something where it's I've been a part of this business for 3 weeks and I just can't find a business partner. You will find them. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. You will sign them. I promise you will, but you have to decide that you want to make this work for you, because if you don't decide, you're not going to get creative with how you approach different things, and you'll either be very robotic in how you do your business, or you're just going to miss a lot of the steps. So even Cheyenne and I were talking today. I was I just decided I needed to earn the success bonus. I'm I need to do this. I need to get creative. And when you get in a mindset of I'm doing this, you start talking different. You start acting different. You show up different, because you're not just throwing up an opportunity post that you copy and paste it off to someone's wall. You're okay, what did this business do for me? What am I offering? And you start thinking about it more. And then all of a sudden people are wait, what does she do? Because it's straight from you. So if you want to do this, make the decision to do it, and you'll surprise yourself. Even if you're brand new, you'll be wow, that was really impressive. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that first, because if you don't decide, none of this is applicable, none of this will work, and none of it will be your magic fix. You are the thing that's going to make you sign distributors. People are going to sign with you. They're not just signing because they love it works, and they will sign with you because you're going to show your voice, you're going to show up, and you're going to be authentic. And the amount of voice memos that I send that have nothing to do with the script I've ever written down is 90% of them, especially with distributors, because you're going to talk to so many different people. So be encouraged by that too, is you get to be you and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So just be authentic and go for it. So with signing distributors, I think the main thing is your page needs to be your resume. It needs to validate who you are, what you're doing. But you also need to put the work in behind the scenes to make sure that people see your page. So engaging in people's networks is so, so important, and paying attention to when your posts get the most views. I've been talking to a few of you guys about that. You have to play around with it. Honestly, I still don't know. I'm still not good at this, but play around with it and pay attention to, okay, did that get a lot of views? What did your picture look like? Who was in it? Was it just you? Was it you and an animal? Was it you and a girlfriend? Was it you and your husband? Who was in the picture? How many likes did it get? Okay, that obviously didn't work. Let's switch it up. Don't just keep posting the same thing and getting no views. So when you do this, you need to pay attention to when you're posting, and then pay attention to how intentional you were on your page that day. Because if you were intentional and you were sending messages and you were interacting and you were doing all the things, your post will probably get more views than if you only post that day, right? So just pay attention to this. This is something that you can play with for years to come. And I'm sure it doesn't say the same, but make sure that you're engaging so that your posts get views. The other thing that you need to do behind the scenes is message people that are already seeing your stuff and people that are not. So What I mean by this is if you feel like I have messaged every person for host post and no one wants to post for me, chances are you're messaging people who have no idea who the heck you are. So if you post something, like figure out what your network likes to see. Right now in the season of life, obviously a baby bump is like kind of unfair because everyone wants to look at a baby bump. But I haven't been pregnant through my whole business and I've done this through the whole time. So figure out what your network likes to see and make a post about that. So if you see like, okay, they love to see my kids, or they love to see my husband, or they love to see nature, or they love to see me out on adventures, whatever it is, make that post. And then what I do for host to post is I message every person who liked that post. It has nothing to do with business, anything. But then you're going to get in conversations with people who already know who you are. This is so important because those people are going to post for you. And then you're going to ask them if they're interested in the business. They already watch you. So this isn't going to feel weird because they're already in your network. So the first thing that I do is ask every single person that hosts posts for me. Now in boards, there is a tab called PDT Ask. I have 3 asks in there. So you can literally just click on it. It says like once a post or host a post or something like that. But that's the one thing that I do. So again, ask people that see your stuff and then message them after they post for you and ask them to do the business. You're going to see so much more traction that way. So that is the one thing that, again, I only figured out because I was like, I need to make this work. So if you figure out something that works good too, like that, like share it with us, because we're all going to be pivoting through all the things. No time on social media is the same. So that's the one thing that I love doing. Another thing that I love doing is asking people who sign up as customers before they check out and once they love their product. So every single customer that I talk to, again, it's in boards. It's like, hey, for an additional blah, 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 especially because most of my orders are at least like $117. If they do the gummies and TFX, it's 105. So really it's like, hey, for an extra like $80, would you want to do this business with me and try these products? I don't get a lot of people that say, yes, I would love that, but it plants the seed. And the reason why I do that like religiously is because we have, what is she, our top 2 income earner, or top 3 income earner, Sherry Lynn Alcala. That's how she started. She talks about that all the time. She's like, I just wanted wraps. I never thought I would do this business. And she now is the top of the company. So you never know. You never know who you're talking to, and you don't want to rob someone of an opportunity. So that's the other way that I ask. And then when they start loving their products, which they always will, you're going to message them again and go, I'm so glad you love these products. Like, have you ever thought about doing this? I know I've asked you before. This isn't a script. You need to make this personal, because if you send this as a script to someone you're already talking to, it's just lame. So just say this however you want. But basically, I'm saying, like, I know you love the TFX. You've been raving about this cleanse. Why don't you do this business with me? Literally, if you talked on your stories about that, you can make money. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't even have to be creative or professional. Just ask them, and they already know you. They already watch you. They've already tried the products. It still might be a no, but they're going to be paying attention. And if you're talking to a Brittany, one day in the middle of the night, they might text you. So that is another way that I do it. There's one more. Oh, I also, yeah, exactly, Cheyenne. Keep it simple. The other thing that I do is I message people on Instagram and Facebook that I just see all the time. They're always watching my stories. They're liking my posts. I'm liking their posts. I will message them and say, hey, I know this is so like random. I just think you're cute. This is very awkward, but I've been stalking you, not in a creepy way. And I just wanted to reach out and say, like, would you be interested in what I do? Or would you like more info? Again, I don't get a lot of people that are like, yes, I do. But I get a lot of people who start watching everything because I just planted the seed. And that's what this business is about. It's consistently planting seeds and cultivating them. If you ask and you never post, don't ask. If you ask and you never show up and talk about why this opportunity, don't ask. But if you're doing all the things, those people are going to be in your network and they're going to be like, wait, she asked, she thinks I can do this. Like, even if you have no idea who the frick this person is, and now they're like, she said I would be good at this. She thinks I can do this. Maybe I could do this. And you plant that seed, and then over time you're going to cultivate it and it's going to grow. So those are the 3 main ways that I ask. The other thing that I do is I get up DT host posts. That's in our board under host to post method. And then under opportunity, it's like once I say yes post and you click opportunity post, that is a really great way too, you guys, because you can get that on anyone's network. Like you post it anywhere, people get to talk to you about it. And then those people, again, even if they say no, are now your friend. So you're going to post and they're going to keep watching, which actually is how Cheyenne joined. So I want to transition into that. Cheyenne, could you just tell us, like, probably a lot of people haven't heard your story yet, but like how you came across this business, why you're still here, like what you're doing here, what it's doing for you, and what attracted you to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Cheyenne. I've been in this business for 2.5 years now, almost 3 years this summer. And yeah, I literally came across a host to post. Someone had posted for Brit on their wall, and it was someone that I knew. And it was just the simplest post. It was literally like, who wants to make an extra income and has a cell phone? And I was like, me, like, why not? So yeah, it was super simple. Honestly, I just always felt like I wanted a little bit more. My background is I worked at a bank. My now fiance works at a bank, and he was always making more money than me. And I just thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could even it out a little bit? I'm always on my phone anyways. So yeah, I commented on the post, inquired. Britt could have sold me anything. I was pretty much just ready to go. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know the name of this business. Like I didn't know it was network marketing. I didn't know what network marketing was. Like literally nothing. She was like, this is what you do. You share products. Do you want to try it? And I was like, I am the shyest person you've ever met. But sure, why not? Like I just jumped in. I had no idea. So I got started like that weekend. It was days after we had chatted. And I just started with no clue what I was doing. And she had started in January. So it was probably 6 months later. And she just led me with whatever information she had that Alyssa gave her, and we just ran together and started this business. So it was really cool. We've been here doing this for years, just doing it together, figuring it all out. But yeah, and I am still here because I had no idea what life was going to hand me in the next few months. And after I got started, about 9 months later, I ended up leaving the bank and just taking this on full time. A lot of things happened, and I just decided that's not where I wanted to be. So I took this on, ran with the business, and it's been my full time ever since. So it was really a blessing in disguise because I just didn't know how much I needed at the time. So I've been doing this full time since for probably like 2 years now. And yeah, I'm still here because this is my plan A and plan B for income. I really I love, and it was funny because when one of you said something about you have to remind yourself like why you do what you do. And it was funny because someone messaged me on Facebook the other day and said, like, what do you do for work? And like, why do you love it so much? And I was like, I really sat down and I was like, that's a really cool question because I get to actually like tell you and remind myself why I love it so much. So I just told her, I was like, I literally get to help people feel and look the best that feel their best, look their best, take these products and just love them and feel their best in all things. And I get to help people create an extra income from home. So I was like, it's literally the best of both worlds. I get the freedom, the flexibility. I am able to do so many things that I couldn't do before. I remember sitting at work, like in the summertime in my office going like, man, I wish I could just like go out for a walk, whatever I wanted, or do things outside and spend time outside in the summer. And so that was one of my biggest things. The first summer I worked from home, I was like, I get to do all these things now that I'm not working in an office anymore. So yeah, literally so many reasons, but just the financial freedom and flexibility of my schedule and all the things is why I'm still here. But yeah, honestly, just love being able to both sides of it, help people get started with the products. I love when people message me and they're like, I've lost 5 pounds or I feel so good. Like that's just the best feeling for me. So that's what I strive to do every day. And I don't know, it just kind of keeps me going. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted me to cover. But
no, that's really like seriously perfect. And I love too how you touched on the training thing, because that was what I was going to go into next of like, when you first get started, you're so nervous that you do not know how to train somebody to do this business. You guys, we have so many tools I genuinely didn't know how to train someone to do this business. Like, how the heck is she still here? Like, that's what I mean. You can't say the wrong thing to the right people. So take the pressure off yourself, because at that point I was like, hey, I'm doing this. You should do it with me. We should just hop on a Zoom. Like, I had no idea what I was doing, but what I did know is that this opportunity was going to provide me with something I never had before. So I needed to do something I had never done before. And it was that simple. It doesn't mean you're going to be a pro. It doesn't mean that it's going to be effortless or flawless. But I do know that the work that we put in then, we have both seen flourish so much now, because we kind of had to figure it out. So then you're more solution minded across the way, which I think is great. Is there anything else you want to add, Cheyenne?
No, well, yeah, like one other thing, I was just gonna say while you were talking, saying that, it's funny because like we were both kind of learning together, and it was funny because I'd be like, I feel so awkward talking about my stories, and you'd be like, me excited anyways. Like, we truly grew together. So if you're new and you're feeling like you can't sign someone, you can, and you can just grow together, and you'll know that you have an upline or a sideline or someone that will help you. So don't ever feel discouraged by that. Just know that you can grow together, and you can be honest with that person and say, I'm kind of new too, but we can grow together, we can learn together. So yeah, don't ever feel discouraged by being newer and still growing your team. It's just fun to meet people and do it together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That is so, so true. And that goes with anything in this business. I feel like so many times I get messages like, how the heck am I supposed to explain what this giveaway is? Or how do I explain what this is? And you don't have to make it sound any better than it is. Like, just be honest with people. Like, yeah, if they're like, who's your team? It's like, well, I'm in a network marketing company and we all put our money together. Like, it's just what it is. It's not, which kind of leads me into my next thing, which I think is perfect, is objections are not an attack. Write that down. People have objections because they don't know. They have no idea. So if you look at an objection and you go, it's okay, let me give you the solution, let me give you the answer. You have to be solution minded in this business, or else you're going to be on the defense 24/7, thinking that everyone in the world hates you, because it's texting. You don't have like tone of voice, you don't have anything, and you'll go, is this an MLM? Or like, is this a pyramid scheme? And all of a sudden you're like, this chick said, and like freaking out. Yes, it is an MLM. No, it's not a pyramid scheme. Those are illegal. Like, it doesn't have to be an amazing explanation, but when you're talking to distributors, you're going to get a lot of objections. None of them are personal. None of them are actually about you at all. It's always about that person. So your job as a business is to respond to that objection in a way that equips them with information that they can decide if it's for them or not. And if you start looking at your business that way, you're going to have so much more fun, because you're not going to think that everyone in the world isn't going to sign up for this. And just remember, what you focus on grows. So if you feel like you have so much negativity, take a minute and look at yourself, because I think we perceive a lot of negativity when we're negative. So if we're like, everyone hates this today, you might hate everything today. I hate everything most days. And I have to check myself and go, geez, I hate everyone. And I'm like, well, let's fix that before we go send a host post messages, else I'm going to waste an hour of my time, right? Like, that is so normal, but just keep that in mind, so that when you have that person, because you will, you're talking, you are making a conscious effort to message as many people as you can and to offer as many as you can. You are going to get more no's than you are yes. But when you're doing that, if you're focusing on the fact that you're sending out these messages, that you're planting seeds, that you're like planting the seed with somebody who could potentially sign onto your team and not only become your business partner, but become your friend because you did that thing that you decided to do that day, it's worth it, right? Like, if I quit the amount of times people said no, I wouldn't have Cheyenne on my team. I wouldn't have Caitlin on my team. I wouldn't have Kelly on my team. Like, just the people that are here. If Alyssa would have quit just the amount that I personally said no, not even other people, she wouldn't be here. None of us would be here. So when you're looking at it like that, I think that it's a lot more fun. It's like, this is kind of a game. It's an opportunity. I just get to show up. And if you decide that you're going to do this, the work that you do now, you get paid for 3 months down the line. That is the most truest statement that I've ever heard. So if your paychecks go down, 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 it's because you did not work 3 months ago. But if you're doing everything right now, 3 months from now, your life could look completely different. So when you're looking at the work that you're doing, just think, Okay, is this a lot of work to be paid $50? Yes. Is this a lot of work to be paid $100? Yes. But I have seen, and you guys are hopping on Zooms, you've heard the stories that the work that you're doing then is the same work that you're doing all the way to $10,000. Nothing changes. All that changes is your belief, and your consistency over time is going to compact. And then all of a sudden, you're signing these amazing distributors and you have confidence that you've never had before because you're putting in the conscious effort. And the only way that goes downhill is when you stop working. And we've all done that. Like, it's such an up and down roller coaster. But if you take quitting off the table, you're going to be successful. And it's just clearly that simple. Like, it hurts my heart when I hear newbies be like, oh, it's been a month and I'm not making anything that I wanted to. I just don't know if I'm good at this. I don't know if it's for me. The moment that you feel like you're going to quit is the moment you're about to have a breakthrough. So if you have that moment, like, pause, sit in it. It's okay to feel that way, but then figure out why you're here. Figure out what this is going to do for you and how you can continue to grow, continue to go. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh, I just signed like the most I've ever signed. I just made the most income I've ever made, all because you decided to push past that feeling and keep going. I always think about, like, as a dancer, this makes so much sense to me. So if it doesn't make sense to you, I'm sorry, this is a horrible analogy. But when you're working out, this is the other thing. I don't work out ever this hard now, not being a dancer. So this might make no sense when I'm not pregnant. Anyways, now I'm just large. But anyways, when you work out and when you get to the point where your muscles are screaming at you, like screaming at you that you need to stop, they're trying to protect you. They're like, you have to quit doing this. I am literally going to buckle under the pressure. And then you don't stop and you keep going that little bit extra. And then all of a sudden you have more strength than you ever have. If you do that in life and in this business, you are going to see so much success. It's that moment of like, oh, I think I'm going to break. I think I'm going to break. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, I'm a lot stronger than I think I am. We're also capable of that. But again, like Alyssa said, that starts with your mind. So make sure that you're pouring into yourself, because this is a like self-development business. It is like 80% mindset, seriously, 20% work, maybe even 90% mindset, 10% work, because you're all capable of doing the work. But if you do it with a negative mindset, you're just not going to have the conversations that you are capable of having. So keep that in mind. But I also wanted to encourage you guys too, that once you sign new business partners, I've just created a training that was kind of like a correlation of the things that I've just found that have worked. This is from other top leaders, their boards. This is from like Alyssa, what she had. This is what I'm talking like consistently with. You might have even received some of these messages. And if I found that they worked, then we put them in this board. So I've created a board that once you sign these distributors, not only are you able to feel confident in training them, but it's not even like a board that says, now you're going to tell them to do this. It is like you click on it and it is you talking to your distributor. So it's, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I want you to log into your eSuite, click on this button right here. We're going to get you fully like plugged in with your tax information. You literally don't have to do a thing other than click a button. So be encouraged by that too, because I think a lot of fear of signing and conversations just comes from feeling like ill-equipped to actually train them. But once you get in, we'll help you. Obviously, we're always here for you, but you're going to have that board so that you can literally go in all the way through and feel like, okay, I know exactly what to send to this person, and you don't even have to retype it. Like, it's typed as if you're saying it. So I'm really excited about that, because that's going to like make it so simple for anybody. And then the other thing that we're doing too is I have two options for you. I think that voice memos will seal the deal every single time. And if you don't know what the heck to say, this isn't like a word by word script. It could be if you want, but this is how I talk. So you can always like take notes and decide what you want to say. But on Facebook, you can forward voice notes. On Instagram, you cannot. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. But I also think it doesn't take that long to send a voice note if you're talking to everyone on Instagram. Still make it personal. But what we're going to do, I have it half made already, where you can go into boards under PDT combo. You'll see like half of it's on there. And I have a new script on there. This guy's booty hole is going to be in the camera this entire time, guys. 17 pounds of cat is just too much cat. Anyways, but I have the board on there so that when you're talking to people, because right now I'm getting a lot of like, Britt, I don't know what to say. And that's totally because we don't have it all in there available to you. So this might take a little bit of trial and error. I might be changing some things. Maybe you guys are like, can you add this in there? Totally open to it. But I just want this to be a board so that you can click on it and have a full conversation with a potential distributor without having to really think about it too hard. And then you just get to add in you into the script. So I have like blank parts of like, I've been working for this long or blah, blah, blah. Fill them in. Don't just send because they're blank right now. So make sure you're paying attention. But that board will be done by probably tomorrow morning. I'm pretty sure I can get it done tonight. I just got half of it in there. And then the other thing is I'm creating scripts for you to voice record. So on Facebook, you can literally record a voice memo to yourself. This is what I've done for everything. You do this one time and then you click on it and you forward it. This is so helpful for distributor host posts because all that I do is I add them, say, hey, like once you accept my request, I'll send you more info. Then when I get into their inbox, I'll say, hey, thank you so much for your comment and your interest. This is a text part. So if they don't respond to this, they don't get anything else from me. But like, thank you for your interest. Would you like more info? Or it's like something like, what do you do for work and how often are you on social media? That's a first message. Then from there, the rest is voice notes. I don't send another text message. So then I go to my personal messenger that I've sent to myself and I forward them the message that is like, okay, so this is what the position's for and this is what I do. The reason why I do this is because I wouldn't want to sign up with somebody I don't know. And these people are not in my network. So if I'm like, hi, I'm with a company called It Works and we are blah, 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 they're going to be like, you and everyone else. I don't, or they'll be like, okay, and they don't answer. But if you're like, hey, I'm so excited to give you info, all of a sudden they're like, well, thanks, I'm not interested, but thanks for taking the time to send me a voice note. Even if it's a no, you're going to get a response back, which is great for your algorithms. So this is, again, it's like a full picture thing, right? So putting in that little bit of extra effort, don't listen to your own voice memo. Don't pick it apart. If your kids are screaming in the background, as long as I can hear you and it doesn't sound like a war zone, just record it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It needs to be a real representation of you explaining what this is. So I have dissected, which took a really long time because these voice memos are way too long, but I took like and wrote out what I said on the voice memo so that you can take inspo from it. You can read it off word by word if it sounds like you and I talk the same and you feel comfortable with that. But what I'll do is I'll send them the voice note and then they respond back always. Like this is something that I feel like very rarely gets ignored. Even if it's like, hey, no, I'm not interested, because I took the time, they'll probably take the time back and then I send another one. The thing with this is you need to be very careful that you're making them personal, even though they're already recorded. So this is the life hack. Once you send, so you have these like 4 to 6 voice memos that are all different messages. Now, when they respond back, like, oh my gosh, that'd be so perfect for me. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I just want to be able to stay home. I'm on maternity leave right now, but I don't want to go back to work, like whatever it is, then I'll text them or I'll send a new voice memo in the moment. So don't be so robotic that you miss those opportunities to connect with them on some level. And then you send the next voice note. And I always make it sound like it would work perfectly. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I'm so excited to give you more info, as if we're talking, because they don't know that it's pre-recorded. So keep that in mind. You can also just like have that script if you want and do it on Instagram, but you can't forward them. So you're going to have to do it more than once. But those are the two tools that we're going to give you. So there's one for training. Let me know when you sign your distributor. If you're like so interested in details you want to look now, I will show you now, like just let us know and we can add you to it. And then the other one is going to just be in the Boom Tribe board that we already have. So I made the training one completely separate, just so newbies who have never trained don't need to see it. But if you are like just in the normal Boom Tribe one, the PDT combo is going to be updated by tomorrow. So you can go through and look at it. And it's basically what I say in voice notes, but shorter so that it's not so like crazy long texting. But even with that, like if you're sending that as a script, I'd still encourage you to send a voice note, even saying like, hey, I'm going to send you all the information. It's a super long text message. So if you prefer, I like voice memo it to you, I will, but I'll send it now. Like even something like that, people are like, oh, she's not a robot. Like this girl's busy, but she's still willing to take the time to talk to me. So that is the biggest thing. I feel like, I don't know what else I needed to touch. I don't want to leave you guys on here for 500 years. I think that's basically it. Was there anything else, Alyssa? I feel like the biggest thing with that is make sure that your page is what you want it to be, and make sure that you understand that the quality of your conversations is important, but know that the quantity of them, it's going to be way more than you think it's going to be. And don't be discouraged when people say no. Don't be discouraged when people leave you unread. Don't be discouraged when you have to follow up with them. Like most of you on here, I followed up with until you signed up, right? Like it's not your job to follow up with me. It's my job to follow up with you. This is my business. So I take the responsibility on, which is what you are all doing now. And it's, yeah, when you look at it that way, I just feel like it's just better. It's not so stressful. It's a lot more fun. So I'd highly encourage you guys to just take full responsibility of your businesses and go for it. And then when you're feeling like, okay, that's not working, message a question. This is like the best piece of advice I have ever gotten in this business. The first thing is the fortunes and the follow-up. The second one is consistency is key. And the third one is don't message a complaint without a question. If you have something in your business that isn't working, like don't just say DTs aren't signing up. Be that person that messages your upline saying, hey, I'm not signing any distributors. Like, can you look at my page and see if it is attracting people? Like, what message are you sending? Be solution minded and watch your business take off. If you are texting your upline like their Google or like all the, like a complaint sheet, like we don't really mind, but still like a complaint sheet, it's not that you're annoying them, it's that you're not allowing yourself permission to take responsibility of what you are working on. And when you start doing that, all of a sudden you're like, I don't even need to text her. I already know. I haven't posted anything in days. And you're going to flip that switch in your brain, and all of a sudden you're going to be way more capable than you think you are. So I hope that encourages you guys. Alyssa, did I miss anything?
No, I think that was amazing. I'm so excited
Okay.
for them to get the new board and all the new conversations.
Mhm.
You guys are going to kill it. Just be intentional with your business. Everything you put out there, ask yourself what you're trying to attract. And you can wake up every single day wondering what you want to attract for yourself that day and go intentionally into that day and do the work required to get what you're looking for. So that's all this business is all about.
Mhm. I love it. It's so true. And you're going to see the more that you stay plugged in, you're going to see more stories that are just the exact same thing that make you think like, she got to the top of the company doing exactly what she's telling us to do. What's different about her? She's way more consistent than I am. That's something I can do. Okay, let's be more consistent. Like it's so encouraging. So stay close to the fire, get to know the people even on your team. Like if there's anyone close to you, get together with them. That is like the best thing that you can do. Stay close to people who are where you want to be. So if you're like following people, or if you want to know who to follow, message me. I feel like once you get to know like what this business truly can do for you and what we're doing now is what they're doing, it's so much more exciting. It's like, okay, she gets 10 host posts out, I can get 10 host posts out. She's rich, I'm not rich, but one day I'll be, because that's what she says she does. Like that's so exciting to me. So be okay with being a little competitive and setting the bar kind of high for yourself. And yeah, be encouraged by each other too, because even just the girls on here, I'm so encouraged by every single day. So don't feel like no one's watching you. We see you guys, we're excited, and it's going to be a really good month. So let us know what you want the next Zoom to be about as well. We're going to do another one in 2 weeks. So let us know what you need help with or what you'd like to learn. And yeah, we'd love to do another one. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hopping on, and we'll see you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.